Have you ever felt the desire to move forward but couldn't? A fire inside waiting to ignite, but buried beneath layers of hesitation, distraction, or quiet despair. This isn't laziness. This is the ninth challenge of evolution. And today we're going to explore why this pattern of evolutionary change exists, not to fix it, but to understand it deeply. Here's a quote that might resonate with this challenge. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one's feet. This shadow challenges our ability to handle the fine details of life, as this challenge is placed in the constellation of Sagittarius. This challenge represents the slow burning embers that sustain the heart of a creative will, but without fuel, even embers fade. Inertia arises when life feels burdensome, especially when one's blocked into unfulfilling work obligations that sap one's energy. It becomes easy to lose direction endlessly circling trivial pursuits or responsibilities that don't serve the heart. The deeper question becomes, what responsibilities are draining me and what truly matters right now? When you listen inwardly, your heart reveals what must be done and what can be redirected, helping you to regain focus and set your sights on the real target, just like Sagittarius, the archer. Here is a story about the ember and the ash. At this point, please close your eyes and visualize the story I am about to share. There was once a young guardian named Kale, whose job was to carry a sacred ember across a barren land. This ember, small and flickering, had the power to reignite civilizations. Kale was chosen for his heart, not his strength. He was told, "Do not rush. The ember responds only to presence." At first, Kale walked with wonder, each step filled with quiet reverence, but as the days passed, the terrain hardened, winds rose, the ember dimmed. Doubts crept in. What if it goes out? What if this isn't even real? Others would have done this faster. He began rushing, skipping steps, taking shortcuts. The ember dimmed further. Then came stillness, complete stillness. Kale collapsed beside a stone. "I can't do this. I was never the right one." As he wept, the ember glowed brighter, not from movement, but from stillness. A voice rose from the wind. "You are not here to force the fire. You are here to become it." Kale stood, not to walk faster, but to walk true. One step, one breath, and in the end, he did not carry the ember, it carried him. And the world reignited through his grace. This ninth evolutionary challenge lives in the body. It governs the energy of concentration, repetition, and momentum. But when distorted, it becomes inertia, a heavy field of stuckness that creeps into our relationships, our dreams, and even our faith in our own path. From an evolutionary standpoint, inertia is a protective pause. It says, "Don't move, it's too much, just wait." It originates in our DNA as a survival mechanism. When the conditions feel unsafe or overwhelming, we retreat, we freeze, and we delay. But spiritually, that delay becomes dangerous because we begin mistaking it for our truth. We can't start. What's the point? It'll be rejected anyway. There's too much to do. I'm too tired. Inertia whispers to the soul, "Don't bother." And the tragedy is, many listen. Understanding the dilemma of perspective. Why we quit before we begin. In this ninth challenge carries the dilemma of perspective. When we're standing at the base of our life's mountain, the peak looks impossible from afar. So we often don't even take the first step. You see everything you might have to do, every task, every challenge, every detail, all at once. And instead of focusing your energy on what's right in front of you, you spiral, you scatter, you sabotage. This dilemma isn't personal, it's ancestral. It's encoded into our nervous system, our lineages, our collective memory of pressure and performance. And until it's brought to light, it becomes one's normal. Starting strong but not finishing, focusing on everything and completing nothing, believing our gifts are worthless unless they're perfect. For those interested in doing deeper personal alchemy and wish to have a means of accelerating an understanding of shadow work, over the last 3 to 5 years, I have collected a wealth of information from various esoteric systems, namely the I Ching, human design, gene keys, the chakra systems, and astrology, as well as integrating them with the human genetic code. And in this chart, you will find the details of all the different shadows, all the different fears, the specific fears that fuel those specific shadows, all 64, all in relationship to each codon. And in this wheel, you will find 4 legends on each corner because they can't all fit on one corner or one side to make it a nice, evenly balanced square. So here is the statements from each zodiac sign so you can see. And then we have the legend for each chakra. You'll notice that there are more than 7, and because there are more than 7 because it is including the spleen as a means to detect threats. So there's an intuitional center there. There's also a center of willpower called the thyroid, because when we are born, the thyroid is literally almost, if not as big as our heart. So we have to accommodate that. And on the other side of this, you will also find an understanding of the I Ching, hexagram system, the different trigrams, the relationship to the three-dimensional plane, the yin and the yang, and how each of the 6 lines are affiliated with different archetypes, thanks to the human design and or gene key system. And lastly, you will also find the human genetic sequence chart for all the amino acids associated with the human genetic code. But furthermore, you will also find in this chart all the different zodiacs, all 12, mixed with the human design gene key chart. Bear with me, my graphics card is not as fast as other people's on their computer, but you will see all the different fears, all the different shadows, and how they relate to each chakra in those colorful little dots. So you can see how it affects each energy center in the body and how each of them have their own repressive and reactive statements because there are 6 expressions in each challenge. Therefore, you will also find those 6 lines in there, all with their own repressive and reactive statements, their associated dilemmas from that specific shadow, which eventually will clear up, the gift from making the right choices regularly and practicing that gift with its own unique self-empowerment statement. So as you learn to vacate the trapped emotions such as sadness, fear, anger, shame, and guilt, and you reorient towards true self-alignment and honoring the intuition and inner authority that you possess, it will lead you towards the grace specific to that challenge. So if you would like to learn more about this and or you would like to download this file for your own personal means of translating your specific challenges in the human design system or in the gene key system, it is all there for you. All you have to go is to my website and download this PDF file. It's about 50 megabytes in size. I hope you enjoy this and hope you enjoy this brief glimpse into this massive PDF with all the details about all the specific challenges you'll have in your personal self-realization path. In order to find this PDF, a link will be found down below in the description of the YouTube video. When using that elaborate and vast chart of information, you can use the human design apps found in the App Store on Google Play so that you can choose whichever speaks to you most. And as you choose whichever human design app works best for you, you can then use that towards the chart. So you get your information and your numbers. And then after that, you can use the chart as reference. For example, I use the human design app, which helps me see the specific numbers that I need to see in the top right-hand corner. The red are the unconscious. These are the ones that were imprinted when the soul decided to remain anchored in the body about 90 days before you were born, between the second and the third trimester. The black numbers indicate the conscious, more aware challenges that you know you have in your current life, based on your survival challenges and your adversities currently going on in your life. You can also find that same application in the Human Design App Store for iPhone and or iOS before you start using the chart that you have purchased online. Thank you very much. And if you ever need more information on this and you wanted a free consultation in understanding the current challenges in your life and how it relates to human design, feel free to reach out through the links below. You can also visit thegenekeys.com. There, you will also find a different kind of chart. It relates to the same challenges and same numerical sequences as found in the I Ching and Human Design. And there you'll be able to find a free profile link where you can then enter in your personal information in this field and then have a look at your specific gene key profiles and understand your genus sequence, your Venus sequence in opening up your heart, your love sequence, prosperity, and finding inner harmony. Thank you for watching this short introduction into the Wheel of Evolutionary Change and the chart that I've shown you in brief. And hopefully through those apps and through this PDF, you will find a way to decode the challenges you face and understand how to make the best choices for you and everyone you were meant to impact positively in your life. Now back to the shadow work and the evolutionary change in this video. The shadow of inertia and its fear of long journeys also has a partner to it in gate 16, gene key 16, or the 16th hexagram. And that's the shadow of indifference and the fear of personal responsibility and how it affects our throat chakra and our parathyroid. This one has its own dilemma of laziness. But let's get back to the current challenge at hand. The purpose of this shadow and why it exists. Here's the deeper truth. The shadow of inertia exists to teach us how to move differently, how to shift ourselves from pressure to presence, from force to focus, from fear to grace. But first, it must slow you down, not to punish you, but to persevere in the integrity of what you are truly here to build. This shadow slows the mind, so the heart can catch up. In the spiral of evolution, inertia represents the pause between the inhale of inspiration and the exhale of embodiment. It's the sacred stillness where you remember what really matters. And once you remember, your movement becomes meaningful. Here's the process from transitioning from the fear to love and the hidden gift inside the shadow process. When you stop fearing your pace, when you stop judging your process, and when you honor your yes, even when it's small, you begin to touch the gift of determination. Determination is not a grind. It's not pressure. It's an inner alignment that builds momentum through clarity and care. And beyond the gift lies the grace of invincibility, not brute strength, but divine resilience, where every action is guided with grace and rooted in something deeper than your ego's will. It's something eternal. This ninth challenge reminds us that grace does not rush. It arrives when we do. In the next video, I'll be going into Gene Key 10 or Hexagram 10 or Gate 10, which is the shadow of self-obsession and how it relates to your spiritual path. Thank you for watching this video in its entirety. I hope it really provided you a sense of understanding and clarity about what's worth moving forward on. You can also comment down below how this helped you prioritize what's worth moving forward on and how it also helped you see your mountain in steps so that you can map your course in a way that feels right and aligned with you. Down below in the description, you'll find my email, my website, so you can contact me, connect with me, have a one-on-one session. The 45-minute consultation is free. If you find that you want to learn more about me or connect with me in other ways, I have meetup groups with links below provided. And in those meetup groups, you'll find free resources. If you find that you've been on Meetup and you don't really like it and you'd rather just access the content, those links are available also on my website. Thank you for joining me on this journey of understanding our shadows, how we can address them, how we can integrate them, especially their gifts, so that we can find balance between both our shadow and our light. God bless you. Namaste and good life to you.